Welcome back to the WODprep podcast. I'm your host, CJ DePalma. Sorry we're late. Claire is struggling with some. Claire's in the studio. There she is. We'll see if she sticks in. Oh, you're muted. Fail. We can do this. Unmute.
Weird. Okay.
There it is.
Is that
All right.
even?
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're solid. Just don't touch your phone. Don't text anyone. Just leave it.
Guys, I'm sorry. I was moving and my Wi-Fi isn't getting set up till Wednesday.
My Wi-Fi.
My Wi-Fi. Don't break anything. Hi, CrossFit.
What's up? What's up? I don't like how that does the at. I hate the at. I'd rather the names.
Okay.
You know, so like it goes back and forth. Like YouTube has been doing this for like a while.
Yes.
And it's like it'll go back and forth between like what their actual username is versus what they're like presenting, like the whatever. Because like mine is now CJ WODprep, but right now it's not. It's the Movement Doctor. I'm like, you know what? I don't want that anymore.
Why does it choose when it chooses whatever it chooses? Like, how does it get there?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
I agree. I'd rather see whatever name that the person wants to present. Well, it was just like it was knotted in there.
There was one. Yeah, it was one. You're just like
yanking it. Yeah, it's fine. If I lose it, I lose it. Thankfully, at least today, it's not like too. She'll tolerate it.
Nice. Does she have a name?
What, this mop?
Yeah.
She should. But no, she does not. I don't know. We can come up with a name for y'all. I am so hopeful that this internet situation sticks around because I genuinely want to have these conversations. I want to be here.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, don't fuck it up, Claire. I can't believe you came prepared.
I'm so sorry. I haven't even. It's because of like we found the mold in the place that I moved into, so I was there for less than a month,
I saw your gas mask. So when you say you found the mold, like, is it just like in the sphere, or is there like you find like an ant colony and then like there's like a queen, there's like a center point of mold? Is that how that works? How does this?
Yeah. So mold spores are like the problem, and so those are just in the air. But obviously, you can physically put your eyes on growths of it as well. And so, Claire, I'm worried about your ability to keep the home dry and clean. Fair enough, dude. I mean, the place that I got so sick in was like 2 years ago. And it was a few years old. The construction was a few years old. And one of the maintenance men, as I went through the process of like finding it, because it was growing in the ventilation and it made its way onto all of my stuff by the time I got out of there. But anyway, it was a mess. And he said the ventilation in the apartments was very contributory to the problem. That was all verbal. I don't know. And then the place that I just moved into, it took all of 48 hours to get sick and be like, yep, something's wrong. So we just moved in somewhere that had it. And so then what we did on our own was an ERMI test, which you can do you can order those. Anybody who's interested in seeing what the mold spores in their homes are, it's just like a dust test. And so you just go swipe it all over a bunch of different surfaces, send it into a lab, and then they send you back whatever. But then of course we actually had an inspector come out and do inspections. And so with that, we did air and swab. And the process for me to get the landlord to agree to a swab was insane, but I got it. So anyway, and sure enough, mold.
Yeah, you should certainly be like a mold spokesperson at this point.
I am a mold seeking missile. Unfortunately, if you have high levels of it, my body will tell you within hours.
Right.
It's not cute.
It's like Mean Girl. It's like Mean Girls. 60% chance it's already raining.
Yeah, except for this one is like that's like funny, and this one's like, oh, she's covered in hives and has a headache and is so dizzy she can't see straight. It's not. No. It's. I mean, that's fair. And also, it's like sucks. Yeah, it's not fun to be just so sensitive to this stuff at this point.
Right.
And I never was until I lived in such heavy volumes that it just became whatever. Anyway, so we moved again.
Got it. All right. Well, I'm glad you moved. We're here. We'll have internet by the next show. We're actually going to do a couple shows this week. Me and Claire will for sure have our norms. I think. Are you traveling?
No, I'm not traveling. I don't think so.
we'll have sort of norms. We'll be on a couple times. Then me and John are going to do some theme shows post Rogue and for the season that we're working on. So I actually don't have a lot of meetings this week, and instead of getting ahead in my other stuff, I'm like, let's just fill my fucking week with podcasts instead, so I can talk shit on the internet.
Your favorite thing to do.
I do enjoy doing this, but it's like, oh man, like I looked at my week and I was like, wow, I have no like extra meetings, just like my normal like 6-7 hours total. And I'm like, oh great. And I'm like, oh man, I should just fill this time instead of work and not work till 3 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday night. Yeah. Anyways,
I mean, it depends. You could classify this as work. Like, it's not
it is
necessarily.
work. I mean, it certainly is work. There are people that watch
Yeah,
this show solely that have paid me money for services or WODprep for services.
there you go.
All right. Mold, work, podcasts. We are.
Wait, I'm sorry. I was so distracted by the chat because they're cracking me up. Like, let's see here. CrossFit saying that I need a promo code for this stuff. Yeah, I send business to List Biotech for sure. Some people more sensitive to it. Did your boyfriend? Yes, my fiance is definitely also. He was actually in this next, like he was the one that had his respiratory response first, and then within a matter of hours, my hives started coming back out. So anyway, back to you as far as your shows go. Did you specifically say what day your shows with John are going to be?
No.
And are they John Wood or are they John Young? Because you got a couple Johns.
John Young. John Wood. John Wood has to redeem himself.
Are you mad at him for not being informed?
No, I'm not mad. I'm not super excited about, like, I really liked his takes up until we did our show, and then like which is I'm totally fine with. Like we can disagree. I'm like totally content with disagreeing. And then his personal show that he did if he was CEO, I was like, wow, I don't agree with like anything that he's saying in this show.
That one, I sent it to you and I said something. I'm not kidding. I think we could do an entire show unpacking topic by topic by topic.
Yeah.
Huh?
For sure. And just disagreeing with it wholeheartedly.
I don't know that I feel that way. I think there were some good ideas. I think there were some things that are already in place, but anyway, I think it would be good to further the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good idea. All right. So
John Wood interview.
And John Wood interview. That's perfect. Exactly. All right. Rogue Invitational done and dusted. What a great weekend. Great races on both sides. Some extremely impressive performances, and to be honest, some really fucking terrible performances. And so overall, it was super entertaining. Arguably the hardest Rogue they've ever had, and it really just like cannibalized.
Which is kind of a crazy thing to say.
It is. And so we're gonna star this CrossFit. Is the turf what keeps eating Achilles? Do we want
to go into what Torres and Elle said?
We can. I think there's two folds of it, but we're gonna go into it. I need to pull it up. You said it was an Instagram live, or is it just stories?
No, it's on Matt Torres. He didn't ask me anything on his stories, and they answered the questions last night, so you can still pull it up.
Enjoying Scotland. Poop.
And there's a handful, but in the question on the screen it says Achilles, so you can easily identify which one it is.
I'm just gonna save it for later. I don't want to hop right into it. I definitely just want to dig into. No. I think that's like later in the show. I'm
just happy to be here. I'm so disoriented because I'm just happy I'm still here.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're hanging on. It's for sure hanging on by a thread. Like if you take a text message, it's going to knock you out.
I was about to pull up our texts, but I'm not going to.
I'll do it. You just tell me what to do.
Okay, great. I'm just along for the ride. Sounds good.
All right. Even Claire's Wi-Fi has mold. That's right. Exactly. All right.
I was coming in hot on this today.
I love it. Very true CrossFit. Okay. Hold on. Let me let my dog in.
CJ seems ready to get fired up today. Yeah, CJ, get fired up. Oh, wait, we don't even have CJ. All right, bye. See you later.
All right. I am fired up. I'm super fired up. Well, I've slept 2 nights in a row for like over 7 hours, and so we're cooking. I'm feeling good. And I even stayed up till like 2 a.m. last night working. I'm gonna do the same thing again tonight, but it's good. I feel good. Athletes are
Steak and
getting
eggs for breakfast.
dude, steak and eggs 2 days in a row or like 3 days in a row. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna commit to a stronger breakfast and like try to eat less throughout the day. Because what happens is I eat lunch and then I just get super unmotivated, and then I have this like 2 hour just like it's just the
Hello.
Italian in me. It's like I need a siesta, just like in the middle of the day, and
If I just
I'm
go
just
work out in the middle of the day, I'm fine.
well, that's like the challenge. Well, and then last week was that timing. Like Bennett was home one day, and my meetings were just like that's like my meeting like dense time, right? And so I don't have that this
Middle of
week.
the early afternoon.
My meetings time start at 10, and then it's usually pretty much till 2 every day.
Okay.
And last week it was 4 hours every day. And then by that time they're coming home. All right, answer the question. Bennett never gets bothered by daylight savings because he sleeps in a blackout tent still, so it's fine. I mean, we got him up at 8 instead of 9, obviously, and then he still went down at 1. He'll go down maybe just a little bit later tonight, but overall it'll be fine. He crushes it. He's such a great sleeper. Okay, let's look at the leaderboard. All right,
Let's look at it. Which direction you want to go? Top to bottom?
yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go bottom. Yeah, let's do top to bottom because I think the top is less, like less surprises. Maybe not less surprises. That's probably not a very accurate statement. Less drama. Actually, let's do it. We're gonna reverse it. Let's go women bottom, and then we'll go back up.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna zoom in just a little. There we go. Cool. Okay.
Kenneth said zoom in. He got you. And also thank you for saying that, Kenneth. I needed that as well.
Emmental out with an injury early on. She had a shoulder thing. And I don't know if we have more information on it. Keep count of injuries. What are we at? I think we're at 4,
3, right? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the fourth?
If you include Guy, it's 4. I know he didn't pull out, but he definitely is hurt.
But he wasn't he grabbing that shoulder at WODprep as well?
Yep. Yeah,
that shoulder's been bothering him.
He dislocated it at whatever that ranch thing was with Ariel Lowen.
Gotcha.
And
yes. What Red Bull? Is it Red Bull? Something?
No, wasn't it the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing? They had like that. It
Somebody
was like
in the chat is gonna know.
Anyways, this is we'll star. We're not going to star that, but this is an interesting concept. Haley's. I don't think she's pregnant by any means, but I do think that something is not right. All right,
like physically, you think that she's injured, or you think that she's not training to be the best?
I mean, she got 13th on a run workout.
I understand the performances were not.
I mean, this workout right here. So, all right, Emmental out with a shoulder. I don't have any information on. I can't find it. She doesn't have anything on her page. Did
Barbell Spin post about it?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my next go-to. And I would have already looked, but I'm not touching my phone. Sorry.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Yeah, Red Bull Ranchers. I think that's what.
Ranchers. There we go. I was close. We were we were 50-50.
We were there. Put it together and we were there.
Yeah, that's right. So Haley, 2 last place finishes. She's horrendous at the log. She always has been. Adrian with with the call the weekend saying that Haley at the log.
This is a good thing for her.
Fucking miss. She's always been bad at it. But she has always been good at Rogue until they introduced the log, and then she was terrible. Just in case, like that's like literally was like her downfall. And so I mean, she just didn't look. Obviously, it's always really heavy. And she just didn't look like she had pop. You would think that these 2 workouts right here are her wheelhouse. Okay, burpees and overhead squats. Light overhead squats. While everyone can say whatever they want about Haley, light squatting is still a strength. Super big strength for her. High volume, anything, pain, that's her thing. And she looked terrible. I mean, she was getting worked by Paige. I mean, 30 seconds is a long time in this workout, right? She was second to last. Who was last? Who got 19th? Ariel Lone. Something's wrong with Ariel. Obviously, we'll get to
Yeah,
that
I mean, she was
point. She
doing
woke
like
up and
literally
she,
step over, step
yeah,
back,
yeah, yeah.
step forward, step, step,
So
step burpees.
back's probably lit up from that workout. But anyways, besides Ariel, who's clearly hurt, who went into the day with a podium potential, I think, and then just lost it.
Is this
Uh,
a matter of like hurt as in like the fatigue to the core is just showing up in everything at this point? Or is this like there's some legitimate or like further injury? Is this just my midline is left the chat or I'm hurt?
um,
Because if you saw the last round of burpees that they did zoom in on, the round 9, she was definitely, like really slow. And then she was able to kick there at the end to just get it over with.
right. And no, I think she's just, it's to me because the workout was here, right? Or I'm sorry, the workout was here, right? Where was,
Are
was
you
it
referring to the back squat
back
workout?
squat?
Wasn't that
This
number
was,
3?
yeah, end of day 1. So she came to day 3, fine. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, it continues to compound. I
Yeah.
mean, and like,
I mean, I wouldn't say 268 are anything other than probably her best performances and pretty close to like where her capability is, right? So I'm guessing it's probably just fatigue from the weekend, right? Not an injury. She also carried a bag 200 meters, and that bag is heavy. It's not light, right? So if her back was torched or actually like not in a good spot, this wouldn't have happened. She would have for sure not get risked this because she could have got last place here and still been in 10th place. 5 more
yeah,
spots down, 25 points, right? So she wouldn't have, she still would have taken 10th no matter what in that workout.
I'm leaning here though. I still think this is what's doing it. We don't
Yeah, yeah.
know. So it's pure speculation, but I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it's just there. And I mean, it could have been like, I hate these terms of like the Euros do use like a niggle or like the Americans use like a tweak, whatever, maybe something like that, where it's like, do I want to push? But if it's a back thing, it's most likely if this was running, lunges, and rope climbs, unless, like those 3 things are usually things that I'm comfortable programming for any athlete that's injured with their back, right? In general, depending on the severity of it.
I
But
mean,
if someone,
I'm sorry, running with a back injury can be really
it can be for
uncomfortable.
sure, especially if it's just blown up, like a lot of muscular fatigue. That's going to be really hard because the impact is going to be hard. She's kind of like bird chest and when she runs and stands anyways, so that back is going to overarch and it could just be uncomfortable. So I don't think it's anything serious. I didn't
Yeah.
see her limping or anything in that matter. I think she was just moving slow. So coming back, Haley an 18th and a 13th on workouts where she should be top 5 if not top 3, and she's 18th and 13th, right? I mean, it's not good, right? I think there's, I don't know, someone said she's pregnant. We're not going to dig into that. I just don't think that she's, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like she has the desire, the want to hurt anymore. I think Savon brought it up a while ago, but it was like, like her mental health struggles that she had easily could have been her fuel to be as good as she was, right? And that pain and that whatever that is. And sometimes when you lose that, it's hard to find other motivating factors, right? And I know that's like a terrible, like obviously if she's happy and there's nothing to take away. And I certainly don't desire her to go back into that state. But it's very true. And like you see this, like it makes a lot of sense. It's like, hey, this was just like, I just buried myself to get away from my problems. And now she's happy with life. And not everyone wants to fucking train 6 hours a day.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's purely speculative. I mean, all of that is like fair, and that's like what this is intended to do. But yeah, it's just a guessing game because nothing that she has done publicly has actually, she hasn't said anything that I've seen, so it is just, but I mean, I think Crosshat commented, I think that there's a couple of other times this year that she has said openly, like, I wasn't prepared for this. Like I didn't train to be ready for this, So
Right.
I don't know that we heard that narrative coming into Rogue at all, but she said that repeatedly this year, so if you
Yep.
stack up the number of times, like in general, whatever her focus in training has not necessarily been what maybe it has been in years past. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's there, right? And
And there's always conversation too about like if an athlete is not at 100% or they're not preparing specifically for it, should they be allowed to go or not, and it's like this is an incredible opportunity, and so I understand those arguments totally. I get it, but then I'm also like, dude, they earned the right. It's the same as like if Gazan went to the games this year, like that conversation about, well, if she's not 100%, like that was her decision not to because
Mhm.
she wasn't, right? But like she earned the right to go. And so if she chose to accept it and go, like,
Sure.
cool, she earned that. And so each one of these individuals as well, I don't know. I mean, I understand the other side of the coin, but I'm also like, if they want to go play and they want to go play at a
Yeah,
smaller
there's
percent
money
of what they
involved.
can be,
Yeah.
that's
I
their
mean, everyone makes
choice.
money. Everyone makes money, and that's their thing. But it doesn't remove the fact that this is what we're gonna assume and speculate when you come in
Totally.
and you just shit the bed.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, and that's part of being an athlete, right? It's the unfortunate part is when you've been a top 5 athlete multiple times and then you come in and you get 18th or 19th at Rogue and only got 19th because someone pulled out, you know, in your bottom half of workouts that you used to potentially win at the CrossFit games, then I mean, it's like our job to speculate and be some, like and figure it out. All right.
Sure.
Paige Semenja, pretty much where everyone anticipated. Abby Domit definitely underperformed, I think, on the weekend overall. Very
Did she
similar.
underperform because of people's expectations of her or because of her performances?
I don't know how do you differentiate the two. I mean, she won Mayhem. She was a games athlete. There are non-games athletes in this field.
Mhm.
And so I think winning a semifinal, and so I think sort of people projecting her, like her progression in the sport, it's kind of stalled, at least sort of seems like it. I don't think she had that great of a performance at the games, and maybe we're just over projecting on what her capability is.
Mhm. Yeah.
And maybe Mayhem really just like lined up for her abilities really, really well, more so than we assumed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and then okay, so what are her holes? Is Simi says that. So then if we go look at the performances, gosh, they're so similar.
Yeah, I mean, so workout 5 was so sprinting power. So this was just I mean, she could have just fumbled the bag here, right? Or I guess she got 11th. What was workout 4? This was the back squat. No,
that wasn't the duel. Was that the
no, the
duel?
goal was 5. What was 4?
Sorry.
Bench press.
Yes, there you go.
Yep. So gymnastics skill, right? So a really high skill thing. 16th on the back squat. I mean, she's a bigger athlete. You would assume that maybe that would be a decent workout. Workout 2 was cat +1. What was workout 2? I have to pull them up.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to. It's been there's been oh wait, I can't use my phone.
Don't
I
do
really
it.
want to pull stuff up. I'm sorry. I really want to pull stuff up.
Glad
There's definitely some like, okay, so 3 was the back squat,
log
right?
clean and
And
press.
there's like benchmarks along the way. And then it was 5 that was the duel, right?
Yeah. So log clean and press. So log clean and press or
Okay.
showing, which you would anticipate it wouldn't be a terrible showing, right? Yoke, power stair. She's tall, she's big, right? But there's a lot of skill, a lot of uniqueness there, right? And I think is she a rogue? Is she a rogue rookie? Was she here last year? I don't know that
I
answer.
think she's a rogue rookie.
Let's see. We'll find out right now. This would have been her only year. Yes, she is. So, I think the rogue rookies besides Lucy kind of showed that concept, right? That
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
a
How many
rogue.
implements has she not previously touched? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she said, was it her that said that she hadn't touched the
I
horizontal
thought Emma,
pegboard?
I think
Or
Emma
was it
Lawson
Emma?
said that.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
It was Emma. All right. So, and I mean, just, never broke the top 10 in anything. Not a runner, which is fine. Event 6 is the wall facing handstand push up deadlift. I mean, just kind of bottom of the bottom of most of them, right? Seems like maybe power output, you would think she would just be good on the bike, right? I mean, she's taller, she's a bigger athlete,
Mhm.
and I mean, she was second to last on this workout,
Mhm.
which seems a little surprising. I don't know. It's a tough one, right? It's hard to, um, so
And I mean, also just finishing the weekend on that event in general. Like, although I mean, you definitely had who was it that was holding 75 RPMs? Was that Gracie
Lucy.
Walton?
Well, Lucy won the workout, so I'm assuming it was
Yes.
Lucy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because Lucy got on there
Bananas.
with sprinting the whole time. Maybe it's time for a new coach. It's in it. She's been with this. She's been with Golden Line the whole time. CrossFit. I certainly wouldn't consider Abby Domit lanky.
No.
No,
No, I mean, I think she is like she's
tall.
she's a taller athlete. I say that
Yeah,
she's tall. What
but
is
she's
she?
not
Maybe
long.
like 5'7", 5'8",
Yeah.
maybe? I don't know.
Um.
All the things
Right.
I would be looking up. This is going to drive me mad.
Yep. All right. Elisa Manon, kind of where we anticipated. A couple top tens overall. Manon just kind of consistently there. Elisa, you know, as John would say, nothing burger. I don't think there's really much to talk about.
Uh, by the way, Gracie won. Lucy got third in the event. So overall, with the bike, she won the heat. No, did she not win the workout?
I thought she won the workout. I'm wrong. I
Lucy
thought
got third. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
3 seconds. Who snuck in between them?
Someone from that first heat as
Emily
well.
Wall. Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, she had a great listing.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way,
Sorry.
NJSB Construction.
Touche. And I guess those were both the first heat because Gracie jumped from just looking at these points. These were all lower, so she jumped all of them. So Gracie was in the first heat in that workout. She wasn't been in the she wouldn't have been in the second heat. All right, touche. So it probably could have been. And I mean, they were 3 seconds apart. So 27, 427, 429, and 430. So all of them were most likely holding north of 70 RPMs for all 50 calories, which is super fit.
Dude, crazy. Can't even wrap my brain around it.
That's so
These girls are so fit.
Paige Rogers pretty much kind of I think calling her own shot in the sense of where she's feeling strong at and where she's feeling weak at, which is strength, right? Still struggling to get her strength back. And I think that showed this weekend, power, pure power expression and strength. But obviously it's still coming back. Her gymnastics are good. She did very well in everything that had a gymnastics component to it. Literally her 3 top 10 finishes were the gymnastic biased workouts. And I wouldn't even call this, and we're going to get into this, even though it had a rope climb in it, it was not a gymnastics workout. And that rope climb was fucking horribly placed and not in the right spot in the entire weekend. And I was very annoyed with it.
Oh, wow. Tell us how you really feel. Great.
Dumb.
I want to hear more about it.
It just was dumb. It was irrelevant, and it could have been here. And then this wouldn't have been just a bike workout.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
You open it. So they just had 3 rope climbs in the middle.
Yep.
And it didn't change anything. If you
and then
took
the feet sack lunge.
If you took there was there's at no point in a workout in competition should a movement be able to be taken out and the leaderboard not changed.
Well, you could do the same thing with the ski erg in the one that had the ski that opened with it.
Well, I think the handstand push-ups, yes. I think the ski had a place depending on the handstand push-ups. So we'll get to that. I think the handstand push-ups were relevant. I think the bench press was relevant. I think all the pressing components were relevant. This rope climb was as well, right? Even you can even get here and say the same thing about the box jump overs, right? Like why were they there? It's fine. It's just more capacity in general, and that was the whole kind of purpose of this test. But all these other ones are sort of designed to have a limiter in it and some sort of stopping point with all the pieces of it. And this is just there was no lead changes on the rope climb, right? Like you could have just made the lunge 50 feet longer, right? Or 100 feet longer, right? And then you would have actually been like, oh, okay, now there's a test. Now who can right. Yeah.
I think Cross had nailed it. That's what it did do is show you where people were. That was it. I agree with you. What didn't seem to have any impact on anything.
And my biggest problem with it is you made the last workout boring as fuck. Now it's cool to watch people sprint on the bike. Don't get me wrong. I love watching freaks do freaky things. And because as an athlete, I've spent more time on an assault bike than most athletes in their career, right? Like I lived on that thing when I was training. And so I understand like those what they're doing, and to see a female hold 70 plus RPMs for 50
Yeah.
cows is fucking insane. And that's cool to watch. And so see James and Roman and hold like 85 to 90 the entire time. That's so fucking cool, right? And but it's just who got to like James tied like it didn't matter, right? Like the sandbag didn't matter. So
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think one of the, like from a spectacle perspective, right? Because I definitely, of course, pulled it up and saw what it was and was like, okay.
boring.
Because the fun part of spectacle wise, that's not to say it doesn't have its place, but is simply when they come off of it, watching their jelly legs, you know,
Right.
like that's
So
like the
you
fun
do-
part. And you took that away whenever you added a sandbag following it. You know,
Right.
there is no sprint to the finish. So
Exactly.
just
Exactly.
fine.
And
But
I mean, it's sort of a sprint, right? Like they're racing for sure. But what you could have done is you could have done like 150-meter carry, right? Or 50 cow bike and then 5 legless rope climbs, right?
finish with rope.
Yeah, exactly. Or even 3 legless rope climbs. You do it just enough to where they have to sprint the bike and they have to risk it to get up the rope. Right.
And
so you do like 3.
So you're pulling the rope climbs out of the running event, which
Correct.
The running event, by the way, Justin's performance was absolutely insane. But anyway, sorry, that's pulling to a different. So okay, so you'd pull it from that workout, you'd stick it somewhere else, but you'd make it like
final
this.
workout in some capacity. Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Cool.
So, because you put both other pulling components, the log, muscle up, and the pegboard into pure skill acquisition and not really even capacity, right? Like it's so unique, and I think it's very appropriate. But then you put the other pulling pattern and make it completely irrelevant. In it takes 2.5 minutes, maybe less, of a 30-minute workout. Like
skill acquisition, specifically the lateral pegboard. There was a lot of talk about the forearms going out. So like there was some level of like they fatigued and gave out. So it wasn't just being well, I guess the skill of being able to get across quick enough.
Yeah. I mean, any hanging, I just kind of like it's efficiency, right? So you turn that into a kipping pattern, right? And if you can be efficient enough in removing the peg, kip through and place the peg, then you're going to be good, which is what Jason did.
Right? Have you ever done one of those?
A lateral?
Yeah.
Or vertical? I'm terrible at vertical. I think I would actually be better at lateral than vertical, to be honest.
I've never tried it. It seems like it would be very challenging.
Okay. So, Paige Rogers, very good at gymnastics, in her strength, power relative to the top athletes in the world, still coming up short. Totally understandable. I think it's going to come back, and I think she's for sure going to be a games athlete this year.
You're talking about, Emily Rolfe?
Paige Rogers.
I'm sorry. You moved.
Emily, crazy finish to the weekend. I mean, she was basically in, like almost last place. She was probably down here, and then finishes the weekend super strong with a third, a fifth, and a second.
Wow.
Very interesting. And then gets a third on this whatever was their name of it, event 3, right?
The back event.
So
calling it. That's a fifth place.
A fifth place. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing to take away from that is that it wasn't a strength workout. It was an endurance workout for low back tolerance to squatting and hinging, right? And everyone's like, oh, the hinging, blah, 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 and all of that. But there are athletes that can just take high volume squatting and hinging paired together better than other athletes. And most of the time, to be honest, they're not the strongest athletes on the field. They are sort of mid-range. Emily squats decent enough, obviously, but I bet her low back never blows up in workouts. Like no deadlift box jump or handstand push-up deadlift or burpee box jump over thruster or like overhead squat burpee or whatever it is, like the common patterns where people just like get fucking frozen because their back is so tense. Based on that performance there, I bet she never feels any of that.
That's a superpower. I really wish we could just ask her Like I want to, not going to, anyway. Yeah. Not going to use my phone, but I'm like, I want to reach out to somebody and be like, is that the case for her?
Yeah. And the only reason I know, well, I coach a lot of athletes that don't have that power, but that was my superpower. As someone who wasn't strong, my back, no matter what, would never blow up ever. I could high volume, I could Randy, doesn't matter. I don't know if it's resiliency. I actually think it's being able to not be overextended and exert a super amount of force to hold a position, right? And a lot of people were taught to be, and this is just my very, very unique opinion on like low back extension and like bracing. I actually think that the people who brace the best or brace the hardest are the ones that blow up the most, right? That are so worried about being in extended position, and those that just get just a little bit, right, and can tolerate being here a lot and then are here a lot, do a lot better with high volume hinging, in like anti-flexion patterns, which is like overhead squats and back squats and front squats, thrusters, shit like that. And so it's, I don't know. It just seems, it seems what it is. I don't know. Let's see.
I feel like this is a great plug for like using a GHD for more than a sit up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right.
To build, to build durability around the low back,
100%.
because that is a huge area of concern for just so many. I mean, like taking it away from these athletes, but just thinking about everybody who's training, who's a CrossFitter, you know, like low back is a really common area that people struggle with. And so using a GHD for back extensions, hip extensions, taking it off the GHD, doing Jefferson curls, weighted Jefferson curls. Hell yeah. Rotating while you do them.
Speaking my language.
Anyway, just saying.
All right, did the girls finish? What heat was she in? What's her last name? Rolf? I'm just going to see if I can find her just to see what her like hinging looks like. She was in the final heat. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's see if we can.
Sorensen holds. Yeah.
All the way. Sorensen holds. She's all the way at the end. She's all the way down here. She kind of snuck up. I feel like she wasn't on the screen at all until maybe the very end.
I mean, once we get up the leaderboard, there were multiple people that were really high on the leaderboard that I feel like we literally never saw.
Yeah, she's not on the screen at all.
Which, by the way, I think the coverage was ridiculously awesome, so it's not as slight.
Well, I mean, I think everything presented really, really well. I think they really struggled with finding the race a lot of the time. Like, I feel like we missed quite a bit. I feel like they kind of went into a workout or an event or a heat with their like focus on X, Y, and Z. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like we missed it because, you know, at this point, I know that's not the race. There we go. And then they finally get to this point. Right. Went to singles.
How they were able to cover the run this morning was bananas. I was like, how are they doing this? It was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's just clear that she's tolerating like flexion better, right? I mean, just in general. I mean, you can tell like she's not, like her back isn't lit. Like, you just tell by how she's standing, how she's rolling the bag up, right? It's just a normal clean. It just rolls. And so it's so interesting, Aaron. If GHGs blow up your back, or GHG sit-ups, pretty common, but if GHGs the other way is blows up your back, then you should do them more. Usually how that works. All right. Anyways, okay. So back to leaderboard. All right. So Emily, I think, was very impressive day 3. I mean, she's just a fit girl. Like she's a fit woman. She really is. And you know, it seems like she's obviously she has some holes. She struggles with some strength. But like when she's in it, she's in it, you know.
They use the term durability, I think, on Savon's show, and that feels like it's a pretty accurate statement to make about her. You take it throughout the course of a 3-day competition and look at the final day, but then you take it across like her entire career, and like, yeah, she's durable.
All right. Alexis, not a good placing here, but I mean, I think kind of where we expected her. If Alexis didn't pull out of this event, I'd say her back held up well, and it maybe didn't finish where she anticipated to finish or where people had her or whatever. But I think around the 10th to 11th place, 12th place is kind of where I figured she would be, right? A good start to the weekend. Event 2, the log clean and press, which is another super heavy hinge bias thing, was her best finish, second best finish of the weekend. Obviously, she's been running quite a bit to get a 5th here. Good for her. Event 6 was, what was this one?
6. That one was not the tool.
That was a ski wall facing handstand push-up. So the deadlift must have just been.
She's got upside down.
And she's great upside down, but deadlift had to be heavy for her, right? Obviously, I think that would have been the MJB 154. One of the issues with Rogue is the invites to have some athletes performing like they did. Von Rohr, Kringle, Greer, and McGonigal don't have the chance to compete. I don't understand though.
I think that this person's probably just communicating that they wish that they could see. So, for example, like you do think as you have some athletes such as Haley that you're going, okay, she said she was under, not prepared for other things. This would indicate that that was the case as well. So maybe she's just not focused on training for these events, whatever, right now. So you have something like that and people are disappointed by it. And like, that's her choice. But I did think specifically of Kringle and thinking like, what would she do to this leaderboard throughout the course of the weekend? If you had her there, that you'd have her throwing people around for sure. And any one of those that were mentioned.
I think that's always the case. I don't think Annika would have done well here. I think she would have done well in event 3. And then I think it would have been capped at that. I don't think it would have really played to her strengths. I also think that her mental outlook on training post crash was probably not ideal for her to come into this. I mean, she looked really rough there in general. I feel like it's probably time for her to take a little bit of a break. Calm down, CrossFit. Keep it in your pants. I
was looking for an image and I went to Danielle's page and one of the it's a few images of her and Amy from the games, and the amount of attention that got was absurd. I'm like, they look like 2 female superheroes. They are. Anyway, it stands out, and I'm like, man, that got crazy attention on the internet, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it's on a whole nother level for sure.
The 2 of them together. Like, are you kidding me?
100%. All right, Madeline Sturt again. Some strengths and weaknesses, obviously. Shows some strength, any type of moving forward. 6 on the run is, I mean, she is a good runner here, but just very similar to Colton. Like, you're just moving an object through distance is going to be challenging just from her stature, right? Being height. She does look like Amy's on a whole nother. She really is. Amy is for sure the baddie of CrossFit right now, without a doubt. I
still think that Danielle's also just insane.
Danielle who? Brandon?
Yes. I would agree about Amy, but I think
I'm not gonna come on here and judge females with
you're already in it, bro.
I know.
It's okay. Whatever. You choose your journey. I'll say whatever I want, and that it's so impressive. I mean, they're all so impressive, but yeah, 100%. Sometimes you're like, how did those ratios happen? That is remarkable. That's fair.
All right, so I guess we can get right there. I need to find a way to adjust my screen like that without having to reach over for my laptop. Anyways.
Okay, wait. I am sorry. Event number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was that again?
Log clean and press.
Okay. Cool.
And assumed that Madeline would have been good. I think the log is just too big to her ratio, as a human. She's just not that big. She is strong, but I think the log, because
is she the smallest female in the field?
I think so. Height wise. I think she's 5 foot.
Is there no one else that small out there?
Elisa Fuliano, who got 18th, right?
Yeah, Fuliana is shorter.
And I mean, Paige isn't, but Paige is definitely probably the weaker, but short. So anyways, I mean, worst finish of the weekend, probably just a unique thing as well. I can only see like half my screen. I can only see like half my screen as it's up, and so it I didn't see that till a couple seconds
just
later.
now.
Come
Yeah,
on,
cool.
scroll in, whatever. Bennett's waking up. I hope he doesn't wake up. All right, we're just gonna stick with this. Ariel Lowen started the weekend off hot. I mean, definitely like on pace for probably a top 5 finish, even with this big
Easily.
19th. And just had a huge implosion on day 3, right? Definitely dealing with a back thing. You can see it. She's good where she usually is. And she is strong. I think this workout just has a lot of it got a lot of flack for being like too hard, which I just think is, I don't know. It's not my like of anything at the highest level. Saying something is too hard when there's a time cap is just kind of silly. Like it just is what it is, right? And some people finished it well within the time domains, and some people absolutely fucking took a shit on it, and some people got shit on, and I think it's fine, right? Like if everyone was capped, then you're like, all right, it was a bad program workout.
Scroll up just a little bit, please.
Where are we going? Up here?
Yeah. So sorry, Gazan, who won that. Oh no, she did. She finished 10th in that one. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, she used the term kicking a dog while it's down, talking about the 4th round.
Yeah, it was hard, right? And so I think it's okay to I don't know. And so I agree. It's very similar to like rope climbs or bench press or handstand push-ups, right? Like we shouldn't have things in workouts that won't change the outcome. And the 4th round probably didn't. But if the goal is to assess accumulation over a weekend, then it had value, right? It was the end of the day too, right? So we're going into anything else. And again, some people finished it. I mean, we won't know who finished round 3. That could be a John question at some point. Like, hey, go review and see if there was any lead changes in round 3. And there was actually, I know there was. Emily Rolfe was not in the lead going into that. She wasn't beating Horvath. So she did, right? She did. There was a lead change because Laura Horvath, I guess they were right there, right? So there was certainly a race. There wasn't not a race. And so I don't know. I think it was fine. I thought it was like for sure one of the hardest workouts. And I think there was just like a disparity of that workout versus like, I don't know, another workout within the weekend that might have been very easy, right? That was just like everyone just stood around, right? Like the pegboard workout, right? No one was fatigued in that workout. Everyone was just like, there was just like, you could either do it really well or you did it really poorly, right? And in the intensity and the accumulation of work in that was just not going to catch up to anyone no matter what. Even if you did bad or you did good, you were going to feel 100% normal in 10 minutes. Right. Like in this workout just isn't the same. And sometimes you need that. I don't think it was over programmed because of the people who were able to do well. And a lot of them did. Right. Yeah. We had quite a few people under the time cap. And so I think it's fine.
Yeah. Well, and you said no one was fatigued in the lateral pegboard and their forearms, like muscular fatigue. But then you say like, yeah, was that easily recoverable and then move along? Sure. Which I don't think that's a bad thing either, to be able to recover from something so you can hit it hard again, keep the intensity high.
Right. So there's at least one person that gained ground in the rope climb. I would argue that there might not have been. That I don't know if anyone was running that equivalent and then 3 rope climbs made the difference in a placing at any point in that workout.
Well, then maybe they can say who. if there's at least one that did.
He was just like saying the example is like that round 4 created a lead change, that the rope climbs created at least one lead change.
Mm.
And so it's definitely a fair, he was losing ground on, and he didn't win. So it didn't matter. There was no lead change, right? It's about the rope, not the run. And he didn't win the workout. He got second.
I thought he intentionally put Sadler, by the way.
No, he put Adler's.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I thought that was on purpose.
So, and it didn't, but I don't think he was outran, right? I think his rope climbs were faster than Ricky's. Right. I think they were just saying that's where you're going to catch him. It's about the ropes, not the run. I don't think he gained the ground there. So, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
All right. Back to the women.
I do want to ask a question about Ariel's performance over the course of the weekend and the final day. We like rolling with the assumption that what occurred today was purely a midline thing. As a put your PT cap on, and then what do you? So she returns home, and this came out that like this was something that she struggled more than she's used to. What kind of impact? And it may be really hard to make that statement because you don't actually know the depth of like how much it was hurt, right? But how much is that going to impact her training? You know, I mean, are you going to then start to incorporate like a ton more midline work and so on as a coach?
Looking at
even
her
if it's just to like heal up something that took a beating.
Yeah, looking at her other performances, it was probably more of a one-off than it is like a recurring thing.
Okay.
In my opinion, right? And we've never seen her like in that case. And this is just me just trying to think about the things that she's done really well at. I've never, you know, she won Elizabeth Elevated, which is, while a lot of shoulders, it's a lot of pulling off the ground. I mean, it's squat cleans off the ground, right? And like that's one pattern that people really get blown up in the back of, right? Of like doing a squat, like just like lightweight, high volume, pulling off the ground squats, right? So like a squat clean or a squat snatch at a light load at a very high pace. And so I don't think it's probably, if it was, we would address it, right? I mean, it's probably just going to calm down with time. And I think she just knew that there was probably no overcoming what she was feeling and, you know, just wanted to complete, right? I mean, she completed the games, or she continued to compete even when she was really sad, you know, in 2024. And so I think she's just a competitor and she just didn't want to pull out, right?
She did pull out in 2024, but yeah.
She stuck around way longer than she wanted to. I think she she tried to fight it. We'll go with that, right?
Yes.
So I think that's generally how I feel. I probably wouldn't make it. I'm very much a less is more, right? Training's obviously been pretty good to her for a long time, and decision making, and she's been relatively injury free, at least from what we know. And so
based on this experience, you wouldn't be working in more specific midline accessory work. You would just allow the work that she's doing to continue
probably not, especially because she's pretty public that she doesn't train a lot at all. And so I think there's like just value in like reps cost money, right? Or reps cost energy and effort, etc.
Sure.
And and so it is if she's only in 2 hours a day, right? She needs to be training CrossFit and not doing rehab work. It's just time wasted, in my opinion.
Cool.
I think a lot of people, you know, can take information from that and apply it to themselves. If you have 5 hours a day, do all the prehab that you want. If you have an hour, don't spend 45 minutes of it like doing like arm circles and like whatever shaky things for your shoulder. You know what I mean? All right. Brooke Wells looked really good. I mean, came out 18th, terrible start. And then, I mean, she fumbled the bag here, right? Like it just fell. She probably would have done better. And had she done better, I mean, she probably would have been 7th place, right? Assuming she can make up 25 points. Probably was a good thing for her, but she dropped the bag, right? Or like struggled to get it onto this pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And other than the first one, I mean, just the 12th, assuming this was a mistake, she would have been 7th. She's still super fit.
Dude,
Right?
so fit. That was really my only takeaway for her is like, that girl is very strong. Also fit, but very strong.
Yeah, she's super fit, and I mean, still really impressive. And I'm glad that her interview post this was not just I'm here just to make memories. It did say that, but it did she did seem like she still came to do well, which is what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We don't want athletes just to be there, no matter what, even if they deserve it in any capacity. We want everyone, this is a spectator sport. That's how you make money. You don't make money just by being good or not good, right? And it's a spectator sport, right? The more eyes on it, the more money all these athletes are going to make. And so we don't want anyone to come out and just, mail it in. Like, that's not fun at all.
Right.
In any capacity ever. And so I'm glad she didn't do that.
Nope. And she didn't cheat or strict handstand push-ups either.
I don't know. I mean, I can't remember if she was even on the screen.
I think a little bit.
I mean, I feel like Olivia did 100%, even though she won the workout. I mean, I think she was doing the same exact thing that Laura was doing. And I didn't remember Brooke, but based on what I've seen in the past, like that's a pattern that would come pretty natural to Brooke, would be to like, to like have that type of hinge. I mean, I guess we can just pull it up. What day was it? Saturday?
Yes.
Saturday. What event number?
It wasn't 5. It was 4. All right.
Let's see. Nope.
Sorry. 6.
Finished. Okay.
This is a fun challenge for me to not be able to use my phone to verify, and the fact that I was moving all weekend. So like, my watching.
Back down here. Hands can reach up a little bit higher. They can make the paddles travel just a little bit further.
Here come Rolf and Walt.
4 reps there, very strategically placed. She wanted to.
At the 32 rep mark is when they will come off the wall and head to the barbell.
This skill, by the way, just blows my mind.
What?
The skill. I mean, just having this kind of
heads back to the
strength as a woman is remarkable.
Handstand push-ups.
Smooth cartwheel up to that setup position there for Brooke, and she's making short work of these handstand push-ups with that kind of speed, especially out of the bottom. It looks like she's going to have the intention to go unbroken.
I mean, Olivia and Laura were not, right? I mean, just is what it is. They just weren't. They were not clean. They did that, whatever that hip kip thing, whatever it is. They let it go, and it is what it is. And we'll get to both of them in a second. But Danny, super impressed. So moving to Danny, super impressive. I think the most impressive was probably this one, right? Event 1. I think all the other ones are kind of like a status quo, like just kind of expected. And same with the 19th.
Sure.
If Danny could run, man, Danny would be fit. I mean, she just won't do it. I think she's got an ankle thing that she's had forever, and she just like refuses to put time into running. But kind of a rough last day.
And then a surprising 14th there.
I don't know. Is it surprising?
I think so.
If she's really good at machines. I don't know if I mean, she can hurt, and you would think from a leverage perspective, she's a bigger athlete.
Yeah, and that calorie number is still like miserable, but also like within the range of it hasn't gone aerobic.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then event 8, 15th, a lot of burpees. But I mean,
we do bring it back to the fact that this field is who it is, right? So it's like 14th in like a field of savages, but also still, yeah, no, I would have expected her to be a little higher.
Grace with a rough start. And then had a great weekend with a great finish. Top 12s across the board. Pretty much, I think, as everyone expected. I think she's going to continue to be a stronghold in our space. Danielle Brandon continuously finds ways to just always be really, really fit, even though she's not strong. It's impressive, right? She's got to get her squat up. Very, very Haley-esque.
I can't wait for Jesse to have a full year with her, though.
Sure.
To really see what happens there, because that's what
interesting. Like, this is a very Jessie thing. Like, you would think that she just wouldn't do very well at that. She is an athlete, and so she can figure out anything pretty quick. I would argue she is the most, I would say, loose. Before Lucy came back to the picture, she was for sure the most athletic female in the space. I would argue that Lucy is probably close to her from just like athleticism, learning a new skill, and just like having that aura of like, I could go play like
whatever, whenever.
Yeah, exactly. Like a field sport or a ball sport or something like that, and be really good at it. Lucy gives off that vibe too. None of these other girls do, by the way, which is fine. They just don't. They're fit, but they don't give off like pure athleticism. But Lucy does, and obviously Danielle does. And yeah, I mean, 5 top 5s, 6 top 5s, or top 6s, and then 3 subpar events. What was event 6?
That was the one we just talked about, the strict handstand push-up.
Yeah. So obviously the deadlift was heavy for her, right? Because she's good at strict handstand push-ups. It wasn't a push-up workout. And it ended up being a deadlift workout, which wasn't the intention.
Got stopped at the last deadlift. Period.
Okay. Olivia, forced to reckon with, two wins, 3 lower placings, but she does really well where she's supposed to. Which is great. She executes well. We just got to get her to run a little bit more, right, and get a little bit better at pulling gymnastics. Event 4 was the horizontal pegboard, right? So,
her trajectory is really impressive, and to me, it seems like the things that you would consider like, okay, the areas that she can improve, like, are very improvable, and she's in a great place to get that done.
100%. I think Emma Lawson is arguably top 5 fittest athlete in her sport. I think is the 5th fittest athlete, and I think these are our top 4. I think this really played out to like who our top athletes are, and then Tia obviously being in a league of her own. In my opinion, what do you think?
Well, I think Emma Lawson, one of the things about her this weekend, and maybe I'm wrong, and this is where yet again I was moving, and so my consuming of the weekend was disjointed, to say the least. But I felt like Emma there were like her, and then I think it was Jay Crouch on the men's side. We'll take a look here in a minute, but like were the athletes that like flew under the radar, that were at the very top, that, like she was right there the whole time and just kind of flew under the radar. So yet again, I may have missed a couple points where that wasn't the case, but I don't feel like eyeballs were on her as much that I was aware of. And yet there she is sitting right in 4th.
Yeah. And she ended up getting jumped right at the very end by Lucy. They had whatever their point spread was coming into the day when they went 2-1, 1-2. So they were same point spread. I think it was like 15 points. I mean, Lucy's just a monster on the machines. And it was super impressive. I mean, Emma's very fit. I think she's only going to continue to get fitter.
Yep.
Being a brute with Matt.
I love Emma.
And I mean, she seems like, she's good for the sport. She seems just like a genuine person, and listening to Matt talk about him and just some of the comments that you've heard from like Dallin and James and Fee, that like in person, you just don't realize how fit she is until you can't catch her in training at all. And so for arguably the fittest guy on the planet, or one of the fittest guys on the planet, to say that, and potentially the coach that coaches the fittest people on the planet to say that, I mean, that's saying something. Lucy Campbell, I think she's just gonna keep getting better. I know we'll be invited for Legends next year.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I think he's calling me old.
Well, fair enough.
I guess we're getting there. Lucy Campbell, I mean, she's just impressive. Arguably, she's the 2nd fittest person on the planet. With a competition that's very biased to strength. When she isn't purely strength limited, it's impressive. But even so, with strength, I mean, she got third in a field of the best athletes in the world. And so she is, I mean, she's a part of our future. I know she's a little bit older relative to Alex and Emma and Olivia.
How old is she?
I think she's 30 or 31. And again, I don't think that's saying anything. Tia's 32. And so
I was going to say these days with this sport, doesn't mean a thing.
It doesn't, but I mean, like, if we're just looking at like the next 5 years, the odds of 5 years being it are low, right? But 2 to 3 years are probably pretty high, just in general, right? And so, but even though she's 30, and let's just make sure before we continue.
I feel like every time you look something up and I don't touch my phone, it's hands up.
She is, it doesn't put it on their games page anymore, which is so annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying.
That's stupid. 29. And so, but she had two or 3 years with like no training, right? So like if we're looking at like running back years, right? Like the best running backs are the ones that had the least amount of touches in college, right? Like those are the ones that are going to last the longest. So Crossfire, you said this earlier. I don't talk about Ariel like that because I know she's not. It's just because she had a kid early. Early, right? I mean, she had a kid in her 20s, 29 and 28. And so I think when she came in, she just got like stamped as like the mom, right? And that she had been doing this a long time already, but she isn't old.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, I guess but we talk about it like maybe it's like we as the ecosystem as a whole.
The ecosystem, yeah, it does. Yeah. But she is 31, right? And so I think Lucy's arguably going to be on the podium. I think Alex looked great. Coming.
Yeah, what a showing for Alex.
Yeah,
that's exciting
work. I think John had her second, which was kind of crazy. A crazy like pick, even though John might have done a little poorly elsewhere. I think he did have her second in his picks. I mean, Alex is super fit, right? It played out really, really well. Not a great last day. I would assume running and squatting have been her least approached patterns in the sport since her accident. So, yeah, it is gonna be a 3-hour show. Maybe we'll do men tomorrow.
Kenneth, did you see Kenneth's comment? That's fair enough. I was literally Yep, cool. Yeah, pick up the pace, CJ.
Sorry. Yeah,
he's excited. He's happy to be here.
Yeah, I know. Alexa's next 2 years will tell a lot about HWPO and collar. Yep. I don't know. I mean, I know they went and like they did that session with Matt, and that was a good video. But I don't know. We'll see. I just don't know how much it's going to influence it. Anyways, Laura did Laura things, right? And I think John had a really good point. If you guys watched event
about Laura?
Yeah, event 6, the handstand push-up workout.
Yeah, he said if it had been a 2-inch deficit, she would have literally given up those 85 points that she won by to Alex, which is
she could only have given up 95. So she could only have gotten 95, which would have been 19th. And I don't know where.
And 85 is what she needed to give up. Would have needed to give up.
And so I don't know how these two finished if they couldn't do the last bar, but it would have been really, really close for sure. There's no argue there. It would have been a lot closer if Alex would have jumped her. That workout was the biggest miss of the entire weekend, right? And this is
wish that there had been something different with those handstand push-ups.
100% floating deficit, just like the games, whatever it was.
More volume.
Yeah, and I mean, even for the girls, it was a little bit better, but for the guys, it was completely irrelevant. Like it was pointless. Girls, it a little, right?
It helped. It helped Mertens a little bit.
And yeah, but he didn't win. But
which is also crazy.
Yeah, but that's just because people had a target time. That's why. That's the only reason why.
Who beat him again?
Adler, and he got third in the workout.
That genuinely surprised me.
Adler and Vellner, because they were racing in newest time and they were running from piece to piece. That's it. If Colton would have done that, I don't think Colton anticipated that they would go that fast. So Laura doing Laura things, I think it's I mean, she's top 3 fittest women on the planet, and I hope she does the season because I think it'll be fun to have a full CrossFit stack in the female side, right?
Yep.
Alex, Laura, Lucy, Emma, Tia, Olivia. And I think that's what it is. Danielle, right? I think those are our top 7. And I think the top 6 athletes in our sport right now are here. They finished top 6, excluding Tia. And I think it was showed really well. All right. I don't know. I mean, she won a lot of money. So if she doesn't care about the sport, then she won't. But if she does, like if she cares about her image at all, she'll do it. If she doesn't care about her image at all, then she won't do it, in my opinion.
I think she has presented so far to be someone who beats to the tune of her own drum. She does what she wants to do. And I respect that. So far, it has not been do it for others or whatever. So to me, it seems like she would do the game season if she wanted to. If she was just in a mood to compete more and take that on, then she would do it. And I don't think that there are going to be other factors that are really going to influence that. And that's just, I don't know her personally. That's just an assumption. Sure. But yeah. And I'm with you. I would love to see her in it. Like, come on, bring it. Let's go. You're fun to watch.
Yeah. And then it's a shakeup on the leaderboard too, right? Like they said about Rich, right, forever ago, or Matt, right? Like it'll take a field to beat them, and it will always take a field to beat Tia. I don't think she is beatable, but it would take a field, right? It would take people middling. It would take Laura winning where she needs to win, and people middling Tia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think that's the only way you could see it. But I think the more stacked the field is, the better, right? Across like at all times. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the guys. So this isn't a 3-hour show. Oldest out early with a calf injury. I think not relevant to the Rogue situation. This like injury thing that happens at Rogue. And Sam Quant out jumping over the log with a initially assumed a knee thing, but then come to find out it was an Achilles thing. I thought it was an Achilles at first, and then John told me it was a PCL, and so it was. Come on, there we go. Perfect. That looks good. All right. Should we watch Matt's thing real quick?
Yep, absolutely.
On why athletes are tearing their Achilles so often in CrossFit.
Okay. Don't come for my neck, but this is my theory. Ever since they got rid of rebounding box jumps, people stopped bounding. And then now, nobody does any bounding or use their Achilles dynamically. And so now everybody's Achilles potentially may be deconditioned. But that doesn't say why anybody tore their Achilles. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, don't come after us. Yeah. It's just an opinion. That's all it is.
That's not even a hot take, just to be clear. Like not even a little bit of a hot take. It's the only take, and it's the right one. And so the only good predictor of injury is prior injury. The second one is doing shit that you're not prepared for. That's it, right? And now with CrossFat's comment of is the turf what keeps eating Achilles? The turf has a little bit of absorption, just a little, and just enough. That's why we see it in the NFL, and that's why the Players Association is fighting the owners groups to get rid of all turf, because Achilles injuries on turf are like 500% higher than on real grass, and it's because of that little bit of a give, right? But of how it's a little bit of a give, but still very stiff. And so, do I think that's why it happened? I don't know. It wasn't a PCL, Renata. It was a
Achilles.
It wasn't Achilles. So I think L is exactly on point. With if ever since Julie, and I mean it's not to say it's Julie's fault, but it's on the back end of that. Before 2015, 2015 Central Regional, when Julie had the boot, like Perrin has that shirt, right? Like Julie was like her favorite athlete early in the day, and like has the boot shirt, her walking upside down on her hands, right, and all that jazz. And so Before that, everyone rebounded everything. Always. They never didn't rebound. And so we avoid it, right? All we do is run and double under and jump from a static position. Okay. We don't do a lot of landing drills. And so unlike all the other Achilles injuries that we've seen recently, right, which are in theory a rebound concept, Quant's was a landing one. He wasn't trying to rebound. Now he was landing and pushing forward. So it was sort of like a depth drop to a broad jump would be that more equivalent pattern, because he landed and went to push off, right? And so it still has some of that rebound effect, but not in that full directional change that you would see on a rebounding box jump.
And when you look at Quant's landing, like it was like stiff-legged. I mean, it didn't look like, in an event like that, like you don't land like you want to land, you're just trying to go as fast as you can. But he does not practice landing that way, I would believe.
No, it was landing in a runner stance.
I mean, we could pull it back up, but didn't he land with like a stiff leg?
That's what they said. I don't think so. Let me see if I can find it. All right.
That's what it looked like. Are you pulling it up?
You still made it.
Yeah, this one's tough because there were rounds, but I guess he was out actually in the first one, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's. Was it on the bottom line?
Closest to the screen, yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, this is right leg.
Wait, I want you to go back. Yeah, go back.
Right leg. Mute this. So right. He doesn't even land. It's right there. Boom. Boom. And it's gone. Right. And so it's just landing in a runner stance. It wasn't
Okay. Yep.
It wasn't the left leg. It was the right leg.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it looked like he didn't know why he fell. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, which is super. Yeah, that's how that goes.
I mean, it's the same. It's so crazy. Of all of the consistency and injury presentations, the Achilles is like the number one, right? Like you're just like, oh my God, who stepped on my ankle? And like, why is it not working anymore? Yep.
Okay, so back to your point about everyone, and I think Judy put in here something about, she said Master JR. I think, yeah, Howell says the same thing about Achilles. But yeah, so people avoided rebounding, and now there's a lot of food for thought there about like, does this make sense, or why are we avoiding this?
Yep, 100%.
Well, that's exciting as an athlete that enjoys rebounding.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think everyone should do it.
Because that's what I sent you that message, and it was like, there was when this was becoming more, everyone's talking about it. I'm like, should I not be doing as much of that? And have, of course, given up on that idea. But it did make me question it whenever it was becoming more popular.
And so turf gives 1/4 of an inch. Give Estallments or 0.10. I actually don't think a stall mat gives anything since we deadlift on them. I doubt that they actually give even that much. I do think the give is there, but I think it's the fact that it's like a give into stiff, because real grass gives as well, even more. And so it's just something about the way that turf is designed that I think it kind of presents as a bigger risk for Achilles and directional change stuff.
Which turf, no turf, it still remains the case that, assuming that this is the case, like it's a deconditioned thing, then you would still want to train that for that purpose. So I'm
yeah, for sure. I think that's
advice to others about what to do there, but yeah.
I think it's common that it happens more on turf in traditional sports, right? But I think why we see it here is from a decondition and lack of exposure. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey, completely unrelated to this, we'll get right back to it, but I just need to comment that I'm really happy that this is working. Okay, we can keep going.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just now was like, oh, I'm still here. Yay. Sorry.
So agreed. So Sam had a decent a decent bit leading up to it. Oldest got injured. Harry Lightfoot kind of last minute in, right? Probably didn't really expect to be any higher. Maybe expected to be a little bit higher than some of it, but it was kind of a last minute invite. So maybe he wasn't training hard and all of these things. But when he could send it, he tried to send it in Chase Colton, which was a fun race to watch.
He was so fun. That second place finish, whenever he did the whole like wave to the crowds thing afterwards, like he is such a fun athlete to watch. I'm really happy they invited him. I mean, yeah, like you said, you didn't expect much different than this, but yeah, really fun. Also, sorry, CJ, do you think that you should be doing hundreds of rebounding box jumps and workouts, or train it up a bit? I want to answer that for you and just simply say like your graded exposure thing of simply like, do we need to go from none to tons? Realistically, no. Do we need to go from none to something? It seems like a good idea. And then grow it.
100%. And, we do a lot of rebounding every day, right? Theoretically running and double unders are, but what happens is we train them so efficiently that they become aerobic and monostructural patterns and more like cyclical instead of an actual rebounding. So doing things like high pogo hops are really, really good to start. Depth drops to vertical jumps, lateral hopping over a bar lightly, right? Forward and back hopping, plate hopping, things like that. That's where we start. And then you start to get hundreds and hundreds of reps and exposure there. And then you start to build it up. But I certainly wouldn't go, if you've never done rebounding or haven't in months or years, to just start adding them in. I would do like over a line, like things like that, lateral hops, high pogo jumps, things like that are definitely a better and more strategically safe approach.
At a modest volume, and then increase it.
Saxon, and we kind of lump some of these together. Saxon and BK sort of where they are. Maybe Saxon underperformed a little bit, but it's really heavy. It's just not his event. He's done poorly here in the past.
BK, you said it's not heavy. How did he finish on the run? Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yep, 8th, 6th. So his 2 top 10s were in the non-heavy pieces. This is event 7, I'm sorry, and then event 1, right? So, our gymnastics, GHG, and then the run, rope climb are his best finishes, and everything else is pretty much to the bottom of the pack. BK, I think BK is just on his like farewell tour consistently. He still looks like a monster. I always like appreciate whenever he's doing whatever and he's just in his pants with no shirt on. I'm like, dude, you're such a freak. And so he just looks like a monster. Fabian coming out and doing pretty well. I think better than most people anticipated. He raced a few times, and did pretty well. Obviously, he just came out and just couldn't do the log muscle up. Katie even commented on it the first night. She was like, "Oh yeah, he won the invite or won the qualifier," and then because Savon's question was like, "Do you ever someone get here?" and you're like, "Oh shit." And so she kind of said, "Yeah, oh shit," when his log muscle ups were terrible. And then after that, he just kind of held his own.
Yep.
Just didn't do the duel or I'm sorry, what was it for the morning one? The pegboard, right? So clearly implements he's never touched.
Yeah.
For sure, right.
And then endurance.
Yeah. I mean, he's clearly a strong guy, right? 6th in this workout is super impressive.
Yeah, it's insane.
Guy doing Guy things.
Moving on.
Yeah, I just want to make I know you don't want to talk about him. I just want to make a comment. In Guy's 19th to me is not as surprising. I think it is to everyone because while you can be strong,
enduring strength, yeah,
correct, and there is a point where your strength starts to become a negative in every other direction, and it's his. He is a type 2 athlete, and because of the way this was, if it was just 40 back squats, he would have done a lot better, for sure, right?
Well, and if we want to go over to his 18th place finish yet again, I mean, that's overhead squat burpee. And so it was 10 rounds, right? And so like the thing you have to think about with him is like, how long is he going to be working? And the longer he's going to be working.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I wasn't surprised at his finish there. I think that was expected. And did he re-injure his shoulder? It seems like it seems what his problem is, or his pain point is this reaching point. So this would be like an axial pull on the shoulder, this like directional force. And I'm pretty sure that's how, because I think that's how he injured. He either went to like jump and grab something, and so it pulled up and vertical, and that's how it dislocated, which is usually how shoulders dislocate, or he hit something again there. And so that same direction of force is what he hit or felt when he hit the buzzer. Right. So, I think it's something he's going to probably deal with, for a while, right? I mean, those things kind of stick around, and it's hard to kind of replicate that rehab in general.
Well, and also on Gi, the same thing, like as much as I was like moving on, just because I guess it was par for the course in my mind. That's why I said that. And I'm going to say the same thing about him that I said about other athletes. Like, yet again, I do still think he can be fun to watch. I have no issue with the fact that he's here in these fields personally. Like, cool. Just
Agreed.
know what to expect. That's all.
Yona, I think status quo. And very similar to BK. I mean, I say that, and I don't think that's the case as much. I think Yona is still trying to like push his athletic endeavors more so than BK is, but I just don't think he has it. I just don't think he has the strength. I don't think he's, I think he's definitely on the downward trend. Henrik doing better than I think anticipated. Had a great day 2-6 ninth. Terrible day 1. But came in, did well on the pegboard, did well on the duel, and then did well on event 6, right? So tolerating event 3 well, or maybe slowing event 3 down, and then having a great day 2, and that sort of saved his weekend. Chandler Smith, exactly where everyone, I think a lot of people anticipated him, 10th, 11th, something like that. No big wins for the weekend. I think the field is just getting too strong for him to be able to excel in grunt strength, like object moving sort of things. The field is just getting too fit and too strong. And so he's going to sit here. I think
he posted about this too. And I think the way he articulated that was actually really good, where it was on his Instagram. I don't know if you want to pull it or not, but he spoke to exactly this and just said like, hey, at the end of the day, these guys are so good. And I can promise you, I'm going to go out there and give it hell every time. And anyway, I thought the way that he described his past experience and other things in the military and so on, it was a pretty cool post. But yeah, so yeah, he's competing against some absolute freaks, and he's also a freak.
Yep.
And that lands him in 11th at the Rogue Invitational.
That's right. All right. I think our surprise, and I don't even know if it's a surprise, to be honest.
I don't think it is.
Austin Hatfield. And, none of us would even be having, I gotta scoot back, these conversations if it wasn't for John. Yeah. And John's voice in the space is the only reason why we think Austin should be as good as he potentially could be, right? And if John would have never done the thing, and Hiller would have never done the video, right? We would just be in the same boat as, where like we would just think it would be like he's good, right? Like he's a games athlete. He still would have made it. Obviously, I don't think he made it because we think of a certain way of him. But I do think that he's not as good as John has made him out to be. I think there's a lot of execution and mental errors that come into it, not just inexperience, but I think he just makes bad decisions a lot.
And when you say he makes bad decisions, are you specifically like, to me, it's bad decisions in training of like we've referenced that video before, where it was just like, what do you want to do? Okay. What do you want to do? And so is that the bad decisions in day-to-day training of just kind of going by feel? And
I think anyone that is talking to your girlfriend and saying, do you want to do DT in your games prep mode, as far as like, what do you want to do this afternoon? I don't think that is a sign that you are disciplined and you are dedicated and willing to sacrifice what's needed to be at the top.
Yeah. Well, and I think this also really goes in alignment with your constant, I mean, I know that you work with a lot of masters athletes, and so it becomes even more important as we age, but the same thing of like every bit of volume that you do that is not for a specific goal then becomes junk volume, and so how much junk volume is taking place and where is that, so considerations, I don't know.
100%. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's obviously talented, but I think it's just going to take more commitment and more sacrifice to get to the next stage, next level, next consistency, right?
And for those of us not trying to be elite athletes, we can do as much junk volume as we want.
Right. Well, and again,
like so many of these things don't apply to everyone else.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting, like I don't know, is he just like really bad at deadlifts? Is he just like not good at a power piece because he's not as tall, or whatever it is, or is he just not good at the pegboard, right? And so, this middle day was really bad. I mean, really, just the front half was really poor. Yeah, they made that Noah Olson comparison, like he's Matt Fraser's talent with Noah Olson's mind, or whatever John said. I don't know. Maybe I don't.
A crazy take. Because that's you fix if say that's the case. If you fix that, the latter portion of that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why John is so high on him, right? Because, like he's got a lot of the same Colton attributes, but he can run extremely well, right? And he can ambulate, right? Which is Colton's only fucking limiter, right? Is the fact that like to move anything from A to B is always going to be harder for him, right? In the sense of like moving through space, not just up and down in a squat pattern. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not surprised. I think I picked him higher, and I think I'm just like biased just because I listen to John. I should be honest.
But I think he's also something that like, are we surprised? No, and yet also still has potential. It's not a complete write-off,
Yeah,
like
no, it's not.
there's still decisions. If it's a matter of junk volume, if you decide, assuming that is the case, we're still kind of rocking with an assumption based on a single video, but assuming that is the case, then like that's something that you can fix if you want to, if that's actually a contributing
Which sounds like
factor.
Angelo's coaching him now, which is different.
Yeah.
I think Angelo's coaching Paige as well. So we'll see. We'll see how that looks. All right, Colton, winning where he needs to win and where we assume he's going to win and doing extremely well. I think this would have been a first place there. I don't think he jumps Pat at any point in time. But this will be Colton's struggle always, right? John said it really, really well. Like he will just be some things that he cannot overcome physiologically. He will never complain about it. He'll never feel sorry or play victim or anything like that. And I respect him for every ounce of it, but and it just will be what it is, like there's going to be physiological limitations, just like, like Jason will never out squat and burpee Colton. Like it'll just never happen, but it is an in-person competition. You will always see these huge gaps. And I mean, I think that will obviously get better. I think he will work at them to get better. I just don't know if they're going to be overcomable to be at the top in in-person competition.
The fact that he finished 15th on event number 7, I mean, that's pretty genuinely impressive. I just am so grateful what he provides to the space in banter. And I mean, 9th, I don't know what the payouts are. I think they're available, or well, they depended upon a couple of details with market stuff, right? Anyway, like, I mean, I'm grateful to see that he performs well enough to get these paydays and really appreciate his contribution to the space.
100%. Yeah, I agreed. I enjoy it. I'm a huge fan by any means. And, I hope that they figure it out, whatever that looks like, but something like the duel, right? It's just like, there's just,
what are you going to do about that?
Impossible. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be impossible to overcome. Okay. Vellner, I think wasn't he in first going into the last day? We're tied for first. We're like 5 points out of first. Anyways, huge
doing good. Yeah.
Whatever, huge implosion into the last day. Fatigue, whatever it was. Villner's still extremely fit and very, very impressive. He's for sure going to come back to the CrossFit season. I am salty that everyone will accept him back, or a lot of people will accept him back with open arms, personally. But I mean, but he looks great. I mean, he's a very fit dude. You know, yeah, I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I think that
8. Yeah,
he's not really known to go downhill on the last day either. So it's
no, certainly
not super characteristic of him either.
You know, volume, fatigue, etc. All right.
Yeah.
You know, this, I think our top 7 here, you know, could have gone in any direction at any point in the weekend. And it is amazing to see Ricky, you know, holding his own. I mean, I know that's like 100 points out, but it's so close, right? You give Ricky, you know, him not blowing up on this piece right here, give him a 10th or something like that. He's, you know, I don't know, in 5th, right? And knocking on the door of a podium. He's still very fit. I think he's one of the fittest men on the planet. I feel like this, and just moving on to Jason, I kind of feel like this is Jason giving up. This is a weird one.
I was watching that surprised,
and
confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's just burpees and squats.
Confused.
You know,
because while he does have longer levers, you know, like it is true.
But,
yeah, sure. But like go right to James. I'm assuming that's where you're headed. Right.
Yeah, he was significantly behind, right? You know, and I mean, that lost him the podium for sure, right? He gets 10th and he's easily in the podium.
Yeah, as a Jason fan, this event was hard to watch.
And then, I mean, 3 wins. And he's clearly still one of the fittest men on the planet. I mean, he's the reigning fittest man on the planet. And so overcoming this in the log bar muscle ups, you saw that, I was really unsure because the camera was on him, like just doing the box jump overs or the GHGs or maybe the handstand walks, and he was immediately behind. But looking at how he kind of perused through the weekend and even getting 6th here, like it clearly was just him pacing it down to try to not blow up on it. And it's just a movement that he sucks at. It just is unfortunate. He's just not good at it.
It's also, I mean, looking at these finishes, it's pretty wild. I mean, like 3 firsts, you know, a 5th, a 6th, a 4th. Like he's so good. And then this 18th and the 17th, Ed says he said it, if he isn't going to win, he quits in workouts. And part of me like thinks that that's like a past version of him, you know, like I would like to think that he doesn't approach things in that way anymore, but seeing a 17th and an 18th is just kind of like, I guess, jarring. Cause yet again, yes, this is a ridiculously fit field, top to bottom. And still, I don't know, those finishes surprise me to some degree from a purely fitness perspective.
Right. Yeah. And so it is interesting.
I don't know.
Also getting passed up here, just like Aaron just said, Ricky passed him on this. There's no way Ricky should beat him on this workout. I mean,
I'm sorry, which one are we referring to?
The last workout.
Got it.
Right here. So 3rd and 4th. I mean, he got passed either in the walk or on the bike. I think this is the bike split. This 228. I'm guessing that's the bike split. Yeah, it has to be. And so it is. Yeah, I mean, this is, even though it's 12, so you got passed up on the walk. Like, how do you get passed up on the walk, dude? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like walk faster. But I mean, he's still impressive.
Oh, and that 18th, I'm sorry, that is the log. So there, I said from purely fitness, and we know that he, for whatever reason, that implement is. Yeah. So there is that.
Yeah, and he obviously.
Which yet again, you take that away.
Right. Yeah, you take that away, and I mean, he's
sitting pretty.
Yeah, I mean, that's a first. Like, if you just took that event out and then you had these 8 events, he wins.
Yeah.
You know, and so
hard pill to swallow.
So it is, yeah, Jay, like you said, quietly being a top 5, top 6.
Yeah.
Athlete, just always very Scott Panchicky or early Tia, 2nd place, right? Just like, oh, it's just like wow, she's in second again.
I think Ariel has been that way for a lot of her career, pretty like, quietly, whatever. I remember the finish of one of the events. I don't even remember which one this weekend that Jay came across the finish line. He did perform well. And then it was just quiet is the best way that I could describe it. There was no like massive celebration or anything like that. I'm not saying he needs to do that, but I think that's how he arrives here quietly, which is so impressive. And then we hardly even saw him or talked about him. Right. He's in fifth.
I think this is where we start having conversations about like what our 2026 season is going to look like. If anyone doesn't pick James Sprague for the podium for any event moving forward at all in general until he decides to be less fit or pull a Justin Medeiros, you're an idiot, because he's for sure. I mean, he's a top 3 fittest athlete on the planet, arguably the most consistent one over the last 2 years. And he's impressive,
and he openly said that this event was the one he was coming into going, if there's ever an event to not expect me to podium on, this is going to be it, and so the fact that he comes out in fourth, and then so it's the log muscle up on the 13th, and then
burpees, high volume burpee overhead squats, right? Interestingly enough, he won the burpee box jump over bike workout. So it's not even the burpees, right? It's just overhead squats. It's just that cycle rate is just so much lower. He's only 21 seconds out of 7th, and then he gets 7th in this, he's second, James is impressive. He's shoring up his holes 100%. We got third on arguably the hardest workout of the weekend.
Right. And a 10th on the overhead pressing, which is another area that he's been working on and growing in. Like, we know that it wasn't as impactful as we would have liked for it to have been, but still that's a positive direction for him to head finish wise.
100%. Roman, just doing Roman things. What a terrible start. And then a huge finish. From event 3 to event 9, he is the winner of the weekend. And just a bad start, and then figured it out, and then was able to really be impressive from day two onward, and just climb the leaderboard, and do his thing. I loved his dance. That was awesome. He had his little break dance.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, he is a very fun athlete to watch.
He's
got gratitude oozing out of his ears.
100%. And I do love that he always comes into that. I don't know if you noticed, but when Jeff shook his hand, or when Jeff, if you go watch it back, when they were on the podium, Justin, when Jeff came to shake their hands as they was walking up, Justin and Adler exchanged a really genuine smile, and then Roman did not with Jeff at all. It was just annoyance for sure. He was not happy to shake his hand.
So Roman expressed annoyance towards Jeff?
Yeah, you could see it 100%.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's still pretty salty about the here, let's see if we can pull it up.
I did not see that. Would love to see it. Right. And Kenneth here, Jeff has no emotions. He certainly had emotions whenever he realized he won and ran over to Carolyn. I agree with you so much of the time. It's is that a robot? But he showed a lot right in that moment.
Just did not want to look at him in the face. Yes? Am I wrong?
Can we go back and see what the interaction between Roman and Justin was whenever, because surely they did something, right? I want to see this. Okay, so it wasn't much.
Yeah, but he didn't not make eye contact. He made eye contact with him, and then arguably did not care to make eye contact.
And what do you think that the reasoning for this is? What's your opinion?
Well, they had that beef in 2023 about the run and like,
was it a jockeying thing or what was it?
yeah, that whole nonsense. And then I
Hmm.
think they kind of talked shit a little bit afterwards too. So, anyways, yeah, which I thought that was pretty funny. All right,
That was shocking.
to finish up.
Sorry.
It is. Justin's back. I mean, there's not even a question to say it. I think Justin is in the hunt to win the CrossFit Games.
I'm so stoked on that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He is such a contributory member to the space as a whole. Like I love an athlete that's going to give back, and hell yeah.
Yep. And so, yeah, it'll be good to see. He was impressive everywhere. He's, clearly strong, and enduring and aerobic, and race, and maybe just isn't that great of a deadlifter, right? I mean, arguably is maybe the only thing, right? In that event 4. Oh no, the pegboard, right? I mean, it's so hard to like define the weekend on either event 1 or event 4, right? Like if you had a good weekend other than those 2 things, your fitness is probably still really, really good. And, if like
I think
if we look at the head to head, like Jeff wins, most of the workouts, but you give Justin a 5th, right? I mean, just like you can just look at the look at the difference, right? I mean, it's like it's so insane, right? So it's good. I mean, it's amazing. I think we thought we had the fittest slate in the 2025 games. I think it's going to be an even fitter slate in 2026, right? At least the top 7.
Oh yeah, because they're getting better.
I think they're getting better. And I think someone like Justin is better. And yeah, it's going to be great. Do I think Jeff will do the 2026 season? 100%. It's money on the table. And so, yeah, I mean, he's very Frazier in his decision making, in the sense of they're trying to make sure they're setting themselves up. Like he treats it as a job more than a passion. At least that's what it seems like based on the words that they've put into the interwebs. So
I think that's a great way to just like, at least according to the words because I'm sitting here thinking and I'm like, well, all I know of him is what I've seen online.
Right.
And at this point, it's way more others' opinions of him than it is him saying anything.
Right.
And most of those opinions are also based on what they've seen on the internet.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, Jeff was impressive, he just was. He always is. I mean, he's very fit. This is his thing. This is his event to really focus on. Maybe he even prioritizes this over the games, which if that's the thing, it's weird. It kind of like tastes sour coming out of my mouth, if I'm being completely honest. But that's probably not super accurate. Not everyone is like money driven, right? I think there's a point where you have to be logical and like, hey, I gotta like eat food and like have shelter. But I think all of these guys in the top 20 here are well past that. That's fucking dumb thing to say. Don't compare my boy Bryson to Jeff. You take that right now. Bryson did the best golf YouTube video ever with Donald Trump, and it was amazing. Got like 40 million views, like the most viewed golf video ever on YouTube, and it was amazing. Yeah, and so I think I think the majority of people have made the money they need to make to live their life, and then they continue to do it to like because they want to win or they want to be the best, right? Or they love it. One or the other, right? Which I think all sort of culminates together and is very similar things.
Yeah, and you're likely. I mean, if there's a solid payday on the table and you feel confident that you could go take it,
Sure.
I mean that's a pretty good motivator, even for someone who's not highly motivated by money, which he has said that that's a motivator.
Yep. All right. Over thoughts. What are your overarching thoughts on the weekend?
I think that the duel this year was one of the coolest events, period, in like CrossFit event history. The way that was laid out on the floor, how it bracketed down was electric. So phenomenal job there. I think that the event 3 thing, like hearing the athletes say things like kicking a dog when they're down or whatever, then I definitely do have those questions about but we always the programmer themselves is going to reflect and have different opinions based on how it plays out. Not that I know what they think at all, but that's normal. The graphics, everybody talked about that, but I think that those were really good as far as the broadcast goes.
What we couldn't see, which was they had screens on Zeus. Did you see that?
I did not.
They had a rep counter on Zeus for
I heard about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a big screen there, right? Like when we're watching it in Coliseum or wherever, there's a screen, right? So you can see those numbers. But like it had the reps like in their lane, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Done.
I think that it was really fun. I really enjoyed it as a spectator. And I also really enjoyed, the ecosystem of people contributing to the conversation online, even people even though last week, there was I'm just enjoying more personalities. It's fun. All the Savon shows immediately following the barbell spin watch alongs and all of those different things, us getting to do this, it is fun. There were I caught myself at moments whenever I needed to decide, because I was moving and so busy, do I watch the Savon recap talk about it or do I watch the event itself? Like which one do I do first or whatever, and I thought that was also very telling about how much we really do find ourselves really enjoying all the personalities that contribute to it, just as much as the performances of the athletes themselves. So I don't know. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy that it's going well. Oh, and I meant to do this before we got on, but I completely forgot. I do want to go take a look and see what the overall viewership for all 3 days was, because I always come back to those silly comments about CrossFit's relevance and whatever. And anyway, I mean, the viewership, I don't want to touch my phone.
Sorry. Sunday is at 170. Saturday is at 385 and Friday is at 408. So we're at
just over 1 million.
560, no, just under 1 million. Yeah, just under 1 million. It'll be over 1 million by the end of the night for sure.
Yeah.
So a great weekend. Yeah. Okay, so I think the races were really good. So this is just the whole, this is the whole, the stream was an entire day. I think the races are good. I think the men and women's field are really packing in. The women's field hasn't packed in like this in a while, and I think it's getting more. I think we have a few athletes really, really pushing their fitness forward faster than others. I don't think Laura is getting more fit. I think she's kind of where she is. I think she's still one of the fittest on the planet. So I think if they all do the CrossFit Games season, it's gonna be a fun one to watch. I think the men are at a point where it seems like it's going to be programming deciding, which kind of stinks, because that means it's going to be really put a lot of pressure on what the games lays out, and what Dave lays out and what the semifinals lay out as far as who wins, because they're all so similar and so fit. I think Josh and Chris ran their course. I think they did a really good job for 7 years. I think we need new programmers in the rogue space, just to get a different feel. It seems very rinse repeat, which is, it's still super entertaining, but it feels, having an implement at Rogue there for 4 straight years is kind of like, you're Rogue. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that it's not entertaining, but I'd like to see another flare of bias come in, whatever that flare is. And so I hope, I don't know. It kind of feels like that's going to be the case anyways. Maybe not. I think of all the years, this was, I think it was extremely entertaining. If I'm just like looking at it, I don't remember in years past of just workouts where they were kind of just had like irrelevant parts to it.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of that this year, more than one. And that's not ideal, right? When like the handstand push-up is a very telltale sign that you're just not in, like, you don't understand the level of the field, at least on the guy side. Like, to have 12.963 or whatever, 15.12, whatever it was, 12.963.1, to program that for guys even after the ski, you have to know, like, you just have to not have your finger on the pulse. And same with the girls, and to like, in my opinion.
We also never talked about it, but you definitely had a strong opinion in regards to the percentage of body weight bench press.
Well, and the only reason I walked it back was because the bench press ended up not mattering no matter what the weight would have been, unless it was like 275.
Okay.
Right. So like, even though it was silly to be a percentage of your own body weight, not a percentage of the
Of
entire
everyone's together.
body weight, which is what they did in Linda in 2018 or 19 when they actually did it. Right. It was just like 205 is the average, and that's what we're going to use.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been. That's a huge miss. Because that completely like eradicates the concept of CrossFit versus strongman or like weightlifting and weight classes. Like, the whole point of it is that whatever is written, everyone's going to do the exact same thing, and based on your ability, you'll have strengths and weaknesses and things like that. And so it should have just been an average of the weight, or 1.1 of the average weight of all the people. It was,
because I mean, I don't know the body weights for these, I know for individual female athletes in the CrossFit space, I mean, you see down into the 130s commonly, and you see up all the way up into the 180s commonly. Right. And like, that's a big swing.
Yeah, it is a big swing, and it is a problem, but because the pegboard was what it was, it made it irrelevant anyways. It could have been, unless it was like 300 pounds for guys and 200 pounds for girls, it was going to be irrelevant the way they laid it out.
But right. So just to address the idea of it, because even though it didn't really play into this specific workout in any meaningful fashion, it's still something that the concept of doing individuals based on their body weight percent, like, you're not a fan of that for our sport specifically, no, especially if it becomes more relevant to the workout.
That's not competition, right? You can't do a different workout. Assume that it's a fair competition, right? That would be like putting a weight vest on someone to do muscle ups because they're lighter.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fundamentally, from CrossFit's teachings and just pure competition, it doesn't make any sense. Right. Right. Which is why the Sinclair is not what people win on. Right. The weight class is the weight class. Everyone within the weight class, no matter your weight, you still have to do whatever. Just when you tie is the only time that it makes a difference, right? Because you are lighter, right? But that's why there's weight classes here. That's why not everyone competes against everyone, because then that wouldn't make any sense. So it's just silly. I think there were pieces in a lot of workouts that just could have been taken out, and it wouldn't have changed. Maybe the 4th round of that workout. I see that workout a little bit different than most, as here we're going to do this sort of like Murph in the middle of the day, right? Like, you could have done half Murph and probably would have been the same people, but there's this accumulating effect that I think they were trying to elicit moving forward. And I think it did maybe too much, right? I think that's what people are saying. I don't know if I agree with that, just because there were some people that it didn't affect at all, and there were some people that it crushed, right? If it crushes everyone, then it's bad. If it doesn't crush everyone, it's probably fine. Amazing presentation. The reviews are raving. this was probably the first year that I felt that they missed a lot of the races. Like the cameraman just like weren't, they just weren't on par with where we wanted to be. And so I don't remember seeing that in years past. Right. And, that could have just been I don't know, whatever, it just happened. Right. Cause the same people that do the games and whatever, right. What's it called? I don't
Hamilton
know.
Road or whatever.
Hamilton Road. Yeah, there you go. So, that was something I noticed as well. And again, they're going to be at a new place. I would like to see different implements. I would like Rogue to bring something new to the table.
Okay, so missing the races too. So like thinking about them missing the races with the cameras that they had on the floor. Well, I guess you do have spotters that know the sport, because that's what I'm like. The person holding the camera really doesn't know what they're supposed to be looking for. But you do have someone who is directing it that should know what they're looking for. So
for sure,
I guess their ability to get there, right? Like that also.
Yeah.
Tell 100%. Them and then
Like Jason and crushing that workout. We didn't see his first 3 rounds because no one anticipated him to be good. Everyone thought he was gonna be shit.
Yeah.
He crushed it. Right. You have to like have someone seeing the whole field and realize Jason fucking did it in 5 holes all the way down. Like, oh shit, he's got it. Right. And we knew so you have to be able to see that a little bit quicker. But I'm not a camera. I don't know anything about that, but like that, it was just kind of like, man. So
Kenneth pointed out the things that we already complimented, but I like it. The presentation was top notch. Looked like the WWE graphics quality on the camera on the run. That's totally the cameras on the run. That was like a huge thing to me too. It's just like how the F, and I mean, they literally like changed it. It was their backup plan and they did use it, but
right.
So cool.
All right. 2 hours. Totally good. I think that's the longest show we've ever done.
Yeah, cool.
No, we've done longer ones at the game, but
whenever we're doing watch
party. A lot of stuff this week. Me and John are gonna do a different style of review. Just make sure to stick around for the thumbnails, and then some good prediction stuff for the season. It'll be fun. We'll try and
what do you guys think? Should we do a recap, or should we do a video where we just unpack all of the thoughts that were on that If I Was CEO video?
Yeah, sure.
I think we should.
Yeah, I think we should too. All right, let's plan for a morning show.
Okay.
All right, I'm out. I'm gonna go nap for 20 minutes before Ben wakes back up because I put him down. And
hey, thanks for chatting about this. And it's good to see you guys.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
being here, guys.
I enjoyed the
band. See you this week. Often.
Whatever.
Okay, bye.